Desert Defender rear installation. Let's go. First, we're going to begin by jacking the rear of the van because we need to remove the rear tire. Make sure it's supported on the jack stand before you take the wheel off. Remove the wheel and remove the rear mud flap. There are 3 attachment points, 2 T25 screws and one 10mm nut. Now we're going to cut out our template pieces. Be sure to leave the lines showing to ensure the size of the template is correct. Mark off 3 inches on the rear section of the fender. Attach your template and carefully draw a line to the rear of the template. This is to show the crease. So here's your pie cuts, and continue the lines all the way over. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side, but this time it's 2 1/4 inches from the belt line. And then start your template at that point. Tape it in place. Use a marker to mark it. And again, when you're cutting out the template, make sure that you can see the lines. Don't cut to the lines. Here I'm marking again the pie cuts. Finish your pie cuts and make one more relief cut in the back. This is to release the lower section. You only need to cut 3/4 of an inch here. Use your Sawzall and make that cut. Now we're going to cut our pie cuts using our Sawzall. Carefully cut up to the line and not past. Here I'm showing where the section is that we're going to remove. I'm going to use blue tape just as a guide, and that's going to help me cut this section off. Using your Sawzall, you want to cut from the bottom up and all the way to your pie cut. And there you go. You'll notice the back section was cut into. Take a pair of vice grips or good pliers and straighten out the sections of the pie cuts and start to bend them over. You'll notice that they'll bend on your marked line. We're going to do one minor relief cut right here at the top so that the part doesn't interfere with that. And we're going to finish cutting the rear relief cut. Here I'm using the supplied primer paint to seal and protect all of the exposed metal. We're going to make the same pie cuts on the opposite side. Make sure that you cut completely through the lip of the fender and not past your marked line. Now we're marking the lower front cut. We're going to cut upwards until we reach the bottom pie cut and remove that part. Taking your vice grips or similar device, straighten out the fender cuts, fold them inwards, and using a hammer, flatten them out. We're going to make a small relief cut at the top. And again, use the supplied primer and cover all the exposed metal. We're now using the supplied urethane sealant to seal and cover all of the cuts that we just made. Put as much urethane as you possibly need to seal each one of the pie cuts and seal all the voids. Take your finger and massage the urethane into each one of the cracks, front and back. Notice how we're filling the void on the bottom and sealing at the same time. The Volcom can take quite a bit of time to cure and skin. You can help it along the way by misting water onto the surface, and that will get it to skin quicker. Remember to fill all the voids and smooth it out. Use a microfiber towel and some alcohol to clean the surface in preparation for the VHB tape. Carefully fit the rear mud flap. A Sharpie mark onto the urethane surface. We're going to pre-drill the holes so the screws will go in using a 3/32 bit. And now we're going to place the rear Mondo with the screws loosely mounted so that we can still pivot the part. So we'll remove the tape backing, and we're going to pull and stretch the part and just tack it at the top with your thumb and pull the remainder of the tape. You might have to release it so that the tape goes. This is the lower mounting screw. It's a self-tapper. Just screw it directly into the sheet metal. Prior to tape adhesion, we need to corona treat our plastic areas with blue tape. Mark off the areas that are going to get corona treated. This is just acting as a guide. The blue portion of the flame is what is going to actually do the work of corona treating, and all you need is a quick pass, just like that, and the tape will adhere perfectly. And now we're going to place the fender flare over the top. With the clip on the Mondo, you'll tighten it. On the opposite side, we're going to place and align the part and mark it. And then we're going to go ahead and drill those holes out as well with the 3/32 bit. Once the holes are drilled, you're going to put the screws in place, and you don't need to put these fully tight just yet, because we're still going to tape. So we're going to pull the backing off the tape and push just to hold it in place and apply 25 pounds of pressure. Now we're going to do the top. Pull the tape all the way around, apply 25 pounds of pressure. You want to make sure that you press firmly, and to finish, the lower screw goes into place for the front side of the flare. Now we're going to replace our wheel with our handy alignment studs. Simply put them in place, slide the wheel on, and this is what you're going to end up with. Desert Defender rear fender flare. Get your flare on. Many more products at TerraWagon.com. Come see us.